Like to welcome everyone today to Golden West College for our third annual Alumni Pillar of Achievement Award ceremony. We're very thrilled to be continuing this tradition. This is, as I say, the third year for us, having begun in the fall of 1991 with this ceremony. In the back of your program, I believe it's about the next to the last page, you will see a listing of the honorees from 1991 and 1992. This event is set to coincide with the culmination of our homecoming week activities, which of course will end tomorrow night with the football game at LeBaird Stadium at 7 o'clock playing Rancho Santiago College. So we invited Rancho to participate today so we could have you part of that. I'd like to introduce some of the distinguished guests that we have with us today. First of all, I'd like to introduce two members of our Board of Trustees who are with us. Sherry Baum, I was told you were here. Sherry, have you arrived? We haven't seen her. Well, I hadn't seen her either, but I thought somebody had seen her. I'll point her out when she arrives. And Armando Reese is here. Armando? I'd like to introduce the president of the Board of Trustees from Rancho Santiago College, who is also a member of the Golden West College family, Brian Conley. He's a faculty member here as well as the president there. Also from Rancho, we have several people from Rancho. Vivian Blevins, who's the chancellor of the district. Welcome, Vivian. Eddie Hernandez is the executive vice chancellor. Eddie. Teresa Mercado Cota, who is the coordinator of community relations. Jan Drinkhern, who is the president of the Classified Senate. Welcome. From our district, I would like to recognize and welcome Manuel Frias, who is our administrative director of human resources at the district. And someone who means an extra special something to me, my former boss and colleague Judith Baez, who is back with us today. I don't know if you know, I was just told earlier by Eddie Hernandez from Rancho District, something that I didn't know that I can announce if you aren't aware, that Judith Baez will be the acting president for Coastline Community College while we are searching for a new president. Welcome. And thanks for the information, Eddie. It's nice to hear about that from Rancho. Bill Vega, William Vega, who is our newly named and recently inaugurated or installed chancellor, was unable to be here today. He's in Washington, D.C. He's on the board for the AACC, the National Organization for Community Colleges, and he actually asked me before he left to be sure to extend to all of you his regrets, and he even called me yesterday from Washington to reiterate it. He's really sorry he couldn't be here. He's a very close friend with Enriqueta, and he's really sorry he couldn't be here today. I'd like to introduce to you last year's Queen and Court from our homecoming event. You won't know this year's because we don't announce it until tomorrow at our homecoming game, But I'd like to introduce to you our reigning queen, Melissa Dalton. Our princesses are all sponsored by clubs from the outdoor club, Princess May Ton. From the Pep Squad, Princess Cristina Mesano. From Cosmetology, Maureen Winter. The GWC baseball team sponsored Melissa Johnson, Princess. And the Mecha Club sponsored Sarah Johangiri. The person who is going to introduce next, Bill Carpenter, unfortunately is home ill. He was going to be here, but he is ill today. So what we're going to do is something a little different. We have one change in the presenters, but I would like to quickly introduce the people who will introduce our honored guests today. Hugh Foster, who is our director of our Criminal Justice Training Center. Gregory Gica, who is professor of physical education. Gino Vescovi, who is the professor of sign language and special education. This flu has gotten a number of people. Unfortunately, Professor Americo Lopez Rodriguez is also home with the flu, so Judith Valles is going to introduce Enriqueta. We're very excited about this event. It's part of not only our culture and tradition, but part of what we are about, which is our students. In order to be awarded this honor, the student needed to have been a student here and completed at least 30 units of credits at Golden West College, and then gone on in his or her professional career to be widely recognized in the general and greater community for their contribution to their field. We have 4 honorees we're extremely proud of today, and I would like to start by asking Hugh Foster to make the first introduction, and then from there we'll just go right on to Gregory Gica and keep going from there. Hugh?
Thank you, Phil. On behalf of the Criminal Justice Training Center, I'd like to welcome you. I'm personally honored to be selected to introduce Chief Ron Lowenberg of the Huntington Beach Police Department as the 1993 Alumni Pillar of Achievements recipient. Ron has been married for 27 years. He and his wife, Kitty, have 6 children and 5 grandchildren. He received his Associate of Arts degree from the Criminal Justice Training Center in 1971. His Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science from Cal State University, Long Beach, and is a graduate of the Command College. Ron has 26 years of law enforcement experience in Orange County. He was chief of Cypress Police Department from 1981 to 1989, and he's been chief of the Huntington Beach Police Department since 1989. Chief Loewenberg is an elected officer of the California Chiefs Police Association, past president of the Orange County Chiefs and Sheriffs Association, and a member of the California Police Officers Association Executive Board. In 1985, the Law Enforcement Management Center named him Outstanding Police Chief of California. In 1989, Chief Loewenberg was appointed by the governor to the Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training. He is also a member of the Golden West College Criminal Justice Training Center Advisory Committee. Ron's taught at Golden West since 1984. He instructs in-service officers in areas of management, supervision, and leadership. Chief Ron Lowenberg is a visionary leader who is shaping the future of law enforcement through education. It's my privilege and honor to now introduce Chief Ron Lowenberg.
Hugh, thank you very much for that very honorable introduction. Frankly, I'd forgotten about a lot of those things. I would like to take a few moments, though, and thank everyone for attending today. Certainly, I'd like to start off by congratulating Dr. Weston. Phil, you've done a fine job here at the college. We've known each other for a while. But certainly, Judith, I mentioned to you earlier, I hadn't seen you in a while, and this week I've seen Judith twice. But I really want to compliment the staff and the faculty here at Golden West College. You know, I've had the opportunity to view Golden West College from maybe a little bit different and unique perspective as a student, as a law enforcement professional, as an instructor, as Hugh mentioned, a member of the Criminal Justice Training Center Advisory Committee, as an employer here in the community, and last but not least, as a police chief. And I've had this opportunity over the last 20 plus years. You know, it's really important, it seems to me, that we recognize the importance of training and educating the individuals who are presently involved in the community college curriculum, and certainly the people that we presently have in our workforce, and the folks that will be the future of our chosen career fields and members of our community. You know, I can't emphasize enough, and I know you folks already know this, but I wanted to take this opportunity to mention this. Can't emphasize enough the importance of formal education for our young people and the members of our community, especially in light of how complex our society is becoming. Certainly in my career field, we see an increase in violence in our community. We see an increase concern about the changing diversity and cultural and ethnic makeup of our communities. In our community work, it's very, very important through education and through personal experience that we do our part to make the community a more pleasant place to live and a secure place to live. And the community college is part of that. And I think that partnership, if you will, that we enjoy between, in my case, local law enforcement, police services, and in this case, the community college here at Golden West College is so, so very important. Certainly, Golden West College gave me the opportunity and gave me the foundation necessary to meet the challenges of my career field. Certainly, my career field offers many challenges, very difficult challenges, but there's also an awful lot of rewards in my career field. And again, I wanted to thank Golden West College for helping me get kind of set in the right direction, at least from an educational perspective, to prepare me for the leadership role that I've accepted, and especially in my present role as police chief here in the city of Huntington Beach. You know, I'm very, very proud to say that I'm the police chief of Huntington Beach Police Department. I've had the opportunity to work for 4 different law enforcement organizations, and I can tell you, I sincerely believe this, that this is one of the best, if not the best, law enforcement organization in the nation, if not the world. And I know you might think that that's a little prejudice on my part, but I really honestly, sincerely believe that. Per capita, we have the most outstanding employees of any law enforcement organization in the nation, and I think in the world. I'm also very proud to say that I'm the husband and father of a family which is very supportive. Certainly I wouldn't have gotten where I'm at, wherever that's at, if I didn't have the support of my family. And so I'd like to just take a few moments because, again, I think it's so important. I'd like to introduce my family who has joined me here today to help me celebrate this day. My wife, Kitty, of 27 years. Kitty, give a wave. She's a... she's an outstanding wife, a beautiful woman. And an even greater mother and grandmother. My oldest daughter, Wendy. Wendy, where are you at? There you are, Wendy. Thank you. By the way, folks, hang with me here. This will take a few minutes. As Hugh pointed out, I have 6 children, but I'm going to take the moment here. I don't get a lot of opportunities to do this. My oldest son, Rob. My daughter, Amy, who happens to be a student here at Golden West College right now. My son, Timothy. Tim. My son Matthew, who's a senior at Modern Day this year, straight A student, by the way. Keep up the good work, Matt. And my rad dude, Jonathan. I also have my mom and dad, Ken and Pearl, here today, my brother, Kevin, aunts, uncles, nieces. They all joined me here today to help me celebrate this particular day. I'm also very, very proud to say that I'm a member of the alumnus of Golden West College. Again, I thank Golden West College for giving me that direction, and I'm extremely proud and honored to join the other honored people who are on this particular pillar. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you probably know, in the field of athletics, there are a lot of elements involved. There are coaches, there are spectators, there are parents, cheerleaders, the media, and of course the athletes themselves. We as coaches give pep talks and compliments. Parents point with pride to their offsprings on the field. Cheerleaders try to exhort a crowd to cheer and sing. The media reports, sometimes accurately, sometimes inaccurately, the events. But once the game started, the athlete is on the field with his teammates. We as coaches at that point fade in the distance. The noise of the crowd fades to a whisper. And even the cheerleaders are a blur on the sideline. Once the game started, the athlete and his fellow teammates must concentrate on pitting their strength, skill, and intelligence against an opponent who is equally as anxious and ready to win. In such situation, ladies and gentlemen, leaders inevitably emerge. On every team that I have coached, there has been that player, the one who goes an extra step to outwit his opponent, the one who supports his teammates and gives them courage and faith to carry on when all looks bad and hopeless, the one who is always ready to do what is required plus more, the one who accepts the blame and credit with equal grace and dignity. This is the true athlete, the one who is admired because he has achieved the integration of mind and body. That is the model for all players because he is not only a fine athlete, but also an outstanding professional and a wonderful human being as well. It is just such player whom we have with us this afternoon. He is a young man who I have known, him and his family, personally for the last 18 years, both on the field and off the field. On the field, he was the leader that helped the soccer program here at Golden West College to win the highest title in the community college, the state championship. He was selected an All-American by the Coaches Association and subsequently was drafted by a professional team in an American Soccer League. He was also invited to play with the United States Junior Olympic soccer team. Off the field, he became an outstanding professional, trying to help other human beings through his research to discover new drugs for the prevention of strokes and drugs for the prevention of AIDS-related illnesses. He was the recipient of the Presidential Undergraduate Research Award from UC Irvine, the Chancellor Patent Award from UC Santa Barbara, the Robert D. Wolf Teaching Fellowship in Organic Chemistry from UC Santa Barbara, the Cancer Research Postdoctoral Fellowship from the National Institute of Health. His research has been published in various publications in the field of chemistry. He is a person whom I gladly call one of my best players and one of my friends. And I am overjoyed to have him here this afternoon to become the 1993 Alumni Pillar of Achievement for Golden West College. It is with great pride, ladies and gentlemen, that I introduce a truly fine human being, Dr. Sam Nguyen.
This is truly an honor to receive such a very distinguished award from a very respected community college. Thank you very much, Coach Gika. We've known each other, like he said, for about 18 years now. I didn't realize it's been that long. I don't feel that old. But, you know, the Golden West Community College has been a great stepping stone for me in terms of my schooling. Initially, I went here for education. I ended up playing a little bit of soccer on the way. But I'd just like to make a few points specifically in terms of some of the people who assisted me in my career at the very early stages. One person here who was my sophomore organic chemistry teacher, Dr. Phil Bernard, who introduced me to the field of organic chemistry, and he made it quite fun and challenging, a field which I ultimately pursue as an interest. Secondary to that is Coach Gika. We've had some very fine and fun moments in past. I'll cite a particular incident, which was, I think it's one of the turning points of my life, and it was a period of time in my sophomore year when I was taking organic chemistry. Midterm, we were having midterms, getting ready for finals, and then, of course, we were in the finals of the state championship for Golden West College in the soccer field. And I came into Coach Gika's office one day and I said, you know, Coach, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking chemistry, I'm taking physics, taking calculus, taking biology. I'm assisting in Dr. Bernard's classes in terms of developing new synthetic laboratory experiments for the students there. And I barely have any time for anything else. So one of the things that's important to me is in education, so I told Coach that I was thinking of perhaps quitting the soccer team. At the time, though, I was my second year of playing, and I was also the captain of the team. And after we had a long and, I would say, semi-teary discussion, Coach Gika gave me some recommendations, told me some things about life, and basically changed my mind. He explained to me that there are certain times in life that things become quite tough, and the best and the people who persevere most in life are the ones that maintain a straight path. And so based on that, I decided to remain with the team, and as you know, we went ahead and won the state championship for Golden West Community College, which to me was a very fine thing for the team and Coach Gika. In any case, since then, I had a better understanding of the challenges that one faces, not just for myself, but I appreciate when I see others meeting these type of challenges. And falling back on some of the things that Coach Gika has told me has made me a much stronger person. And since I've graduated and gone on, whenever I had the opportunity to teach or coach, I base a lot of my knowledge and experience on the things that Coach Gika has told me. And hopefully some of those things has been passed on to my students and some of the players that I've coached. But in any case, I want to mention a few things just to make it fair. Since Chief Loewenberg did this, I need to recognize some of the important people in my life. Two people who got me started were my parents. My mother is not here right now, but my father in the back there. Would you wave, please? They've been very supportive of me since I was a little boy, and they still are supporting me. And then currently the most important person in my life right now is my wife, Tao Duong. Could you please stand up, Tao? I should say that she's also a product of a community college, specifically Saddleback Community College, and she went on to UC Irvine also, and went on to medical school at UC Davis. And currently she's the program director of physical medicine and rehab at Denver General Hospital in Colorado. And she's been a great friend to me, so thanks a lot for the support and all. Anyway, before I get in trouble here, I'd just like to thank my other members of the family, my brother Danny and Benny, for showing up and supporting me, and my cousin, Mr. Dim, who's, I don't exactly know what his title is, but he's probably director of the water board in where's it, Tustin or something? Sorry about that. Coming from Colorado, I've misplaced all the cities around here. In any case, and then all the supports that assist the students, including myself, others who have graduated from Golden West have been greatly appreciated. Those in the background who's done a lot of support, specifically with this award. I thank Ms. Glenda Blackburn for all her efforts in organizing this. And I thank you for supporting all of us. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can understand me all right. I can't hear myself because I'm deaf, so it's up to you. Can you hear me all right? Okay. First, I'm very happy to present Brenda Freeman. Okay. She is a person who is supposed to be legally blind. Often people who don't know better, they take a look at her and they think she also is blind and disabled. Well, I've known Brenda about 20 years, somewhere around there. I have worked with her, and I had many conversations with her. And I can tell you that she sees more than many sighted people do. That's unequivocal, in my opinion. As for being disabled, I never knew Brenda to really dwell on that fact that she is blind, legally blind. She's always been too busy accomplishing things for herself as well as for other people, and having a lot of fun while doing it. I think Brenda Freeman is a good example of what we want to mean when we use the word an accomplished human being. In former days, we would have called her a self-actualized person. She has excelled in academics at Golden West College here, and then she went on to California State University at Long Beach. And she has earned a master's degree at Pepperdine University, if I'm saying that right. Pepperdine or Pepperdine? Pepperdine, okay. She has also excelled in her work and for the Orange County Department of education as the director of the Dell Mcintosh Center for the Disabled, and currently as the deputy director for the California Department of Rehabilitation. She has excelled and contributed very significantly as a volunteer member of numerous local, county, state, and national associations, committees, and task forces. She has excelled above all as a person in that she has always known her true worth, and she is unshakable in this knowledge. Well, she's comfortable with who she is, and she has a vigorous self-confidence in her own capabilities. Finally, I think Brenda is one of those people who seem rarely to have a dull day in their lives. I think this is because, like them, she has always had an enthusiasm for people, for being with and among people, and at times being a help and inspiration to them. I think today Brenda is being recognized as a pillar of achievement. I take that literally, and I'm sure you do too, after you've heard these. And I'm proud to have this opportunity to present her. Okay, that's it, Brenda. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm going to leave it here for you. What you have. Okay. See you later.
Thank you, Gino. I want to begin by saying thank you very much for this honor. As I look over at the pillar, I kept wondering where that was going to be when I saw the invitation. I thought, now where did they put that in Golden West exactly? I think of the honor of the people who have been on there, and I thought of what I wanted to say and how I wanted to represent what I wanted to say today that would make this something that I could remember and something that would illustrate the honor. I thought I want to begin with an idea that I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't been here in the early 70s. The Golden West College was, in fact, one of the main reasons that I succeeded, and without Golden West College, I wouldn't have. The time I graduated from high school, which was Marina High School in Huntington Beach, both of which were very new then. Of course, I haven't gotten older, but somehow this has grown. It used to be much smaller. You could find your way around really easily. There was only 6 buildings. This was a brand new campus, and the school was brand new, and the concepts of community colleges were growing. And at that time, I didn't believe, and there was a belief among many people, that people with disabilities' brains happened to be wherever the disability was, their arms, their legs, their eyes, their ears. So I didn't think I could do it. Well, I came to Golden West and took some classes and got so caught up in the concepts that I was learning that I forgot I couldn't learn them. I began to understand that no, my brains weren't in my eyeballs, and the people I met, the deaf students, students who were visually impaired, other students who happened to be using other types of mobility, their brains weren't in their legs or ears either. And from that I learned that there was a potential as a person to be able to achieve based on your ability. There's a story I tell, and I'm particularly pleased to tell it today, in part to get even with Gino, about what we believe and how important it is that that pillar exists and what it stands for, and the ideals of the types of people who are on that pillar. After graduating from Long Beach and getting out of school and wanting to get my first job, of course I was going to cure cancer and eliminate communism, and communism is eliminated. So we started what is called the Dell Mcintosh Center, and Gino was on that board. And we knew we had to communicate our needs in Orange County to those who lived in Sacramento and who graced us with their money from time to time. We needed to let people know what people with disabilities needed. So Gino and another friend who happened to use a wheelchair and I went to Sacramento, and we needed to rent a car. Now this was before the days of the Americans with Disabilities Act, where people had rights. If you were disabled, you didn't. So we went up to rent the car, and my friend in the wheelchair said, well, I'm sorry, but I called to rent this car, but you don't have hand control, so my friend here, Dr. Vescovi, will be driving the car. And the lady turned to Dr. Vescovi and began to speak, and I said, well, I'm sorry, but Dr. Vescovi is deaf. I will have to sign And she turned to me and says, "Why don't you drive the car?" And I said, "Well, I'm blind." Well, this lady was a little nervous by now. I don't think it dawned on her that blind people shouldn't sign, but I proceeded to sign to Dr. Vescova. He taught me so he could read them, and told Gino where he needed to go to get the car and what the instructions were. And so Gino took off to get the car, and the lady said, "Can I do anything else?" She was just a little bit frazzled, and I said, "Yes, this is the first time we've ever been in Sacramento. We need a map." And she said, "How are you going to tell him where you're going?" And I said, "Well, that's very simple. My friend George here, he has 20/20 vision, and he's going to read it to me, and I'm going to sign it into the rearview mirror." Well, the lady was, of course, now she asked something about insurance. I assured her that he had it. I couldn't get it. It wasn't a problem. And we took off to do our work, which we did. We went and saw the director of rehabilitation, and talked about our needs. And we finished our work and went back to the airport. Well, my friend George, who was in the wheelchair, wisely chose to fly out of LAX, because at that time, as you all know, they had named John Wayne Airport John Wayne because you had to be rugged to use it. And George didn't care to be carried up and down the stairs. So that was before the more beautiful modern airport that we now have. It was small. I could get around it very easily. So Gino and I were coming back to this airport, and we came back to the rental-place, and we were going to give her the keys. And the lady was standing, say, from here to there to another lady, and she says, "I told you they're real." And I walked up to her told Gino this, of course, and he found it amusing. And she said, "I have to ask you a question." And I said, "Sure. How do you know the plane's taking off?" And I said, "Well, that's simple. Dr. Vesco, we can read the televisions." That time they were still on the roof. They hadn't run down to my level. And I can hear the loudspeaker, "By the way, we both drink. Where's the bar?" The story is about ability and competency and approaching an issue from what you need, what the resources are that are needed. Golden West is a valuable resource for all of its students. It's a place where people come, people of both genders, people of all ethnicities, and people with disabilities, to enter the world of learning, to experience their own capacities. And I hope that in the future, other people who will in the future be able to give their skills and talents to the community who happen to be disabled will be on that pillar. Because even in times of economic hardship, this college will show the long-term view that it has historically shown to continue the services that people need, whether they be foreign students or disabled students, to have what they need in support services so that they too can show up on that pillar years later because they gain the skills to use their talents to work with the community. Thank you very much for this honor.
Was a high school dropout. However, she was in the first graduating class of Golden West College in 1966. She really epitomizes what can be accomplished if you really dare and you have the persistence. Currently, she is a professor of Spanish and Chicano Studies at Cypress College, and she was the first Chicana in Orange County history to be elected to a community college governing board. And in addition to her teaching duties, Ramos now serves as a member of the Rancho Santiago Community College Board of Trustees. This dynamic woman, educator, has taught many, many, many classes, from first grade to graduate courses, from elementary school to the University of California and California State University. She teaches her students how to learn outside of the classroom. She has also given of herself by coordinating the University of California Irvine Flying Samaritans, which is a group of medical professionals, doctors and nurses. The program was coordinated to work at El Testerazo, which is a small village in Baja California, and she coordinated the program for these professionals to work in a clinic and help the people there. Last year, Enriqueta traveled to the International Education Conference in Veracruz, Mexico, to present a paper on the education of the Mexican American in California. She certainly is a living example of that. And in 1990, she was selected to be a poll observer in Nicaragua. And I asked Enriqueta, what do you remember about that experience? And she said, I remember that people were lining up to vote at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I remember that many of them traveled miles on foot to get there. And she says, and I remember the extreme material poverty. But she remembers the rich spiritualness of the people. She has presented guest lectures detailing Mexicans in the U.S. educational system and Chicano literature to audiences in Mexico and Cuba. She was in Cuba in 1988 doing research of teachers and the university teacher training that they have in Cuba. In addition to serving as a Cypress College faculty advisor for the Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán, which is MECHA, she contributes her support to the United Farm Workers Organization. She has served as a board member for the Orange County Women's Council of Girl Scouts of America and Community Action Committee. She is a member of the Fountain Valley Human Services Committee and Educational Opportunity Service and Program Statutory Committee. She was named Professor of the Year by the Orange County Women's Club and Chicana del Año by the Bay Area Women's Association. Ramos has received the Outstanding Career Award from LULAC and VIP Award from Mendocino College. She holds an Associate in Arts degree from Golden West College, a Bachelor of Arts degree from California State University, Fullerton, and a doctorate degree from the University of California at Irvine. And recently, she has been selected to attend an international seminar in Chile. This month, she will be there 1 week. The focus of the study for that 1 week will be on international exchange programs for students and professors, and also a study from dictatorship to democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, my honor and my pleasure to introduce to all of you Dr. Enriqueta Lopez Ramos.
I too had forgotten a lot of that stuff. As I was driving down, I kept thinking about, what am I going to say? First of all, I have to say thank you, Vivian, for being here. And Brian, thank you for, in spite of the problems you're having with your legs, now this is a real sacrifice. I kept thinking, I know what's going to happen. When I get there, Brian will not be there, and I'll have a card, somebody saying, he wanted to be here, but he couldn't be here. Brian, thanks for making it.
I would have missed it.
Armando, my dear friend, thank you. Judy, thank you for, I know you were one of the persons that recommended me for the award. And Lupe Lopez, my MECHA president from Golden West College, thank you also. I'm not going to introduce my family because it's very, very big. It's all on this side, or most of them are on this side. A couple of them are on this other side. Dean at Cypress College, thank you for coming, Tom Reeve, and Tom Sines over here on this other side. So it would take me forever to introduce everyone. When I first got to Golden West, I was kind of thinking, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. I had probably some of the very best teachers I have ever found anywhere. The big problem was that every time I took a course, I ended up taking the following course. So when they tried to do an evaluation, they said, well, you have 7 minors, but you don't have any majors. So quickly, I had to decide on what my major was going to be, and we decided on English and Spanish because I had enough coursework in both. My English teachers were so inspiring that I did go on and major in English. And I remember when I was one of the only old women around. It was a time before women lived and before it was acceptable to have older women in classes. And I remember one teacher saying, you know, you've got to be a teacher. And this is where I decided what I wanted to be when I grew up. Well, I haven't grown up yet, but I am a teacher, and I love teaching. And I don't think there is anything else that I would rather do than teach. I like what I'm doing. I have been asked to become an administrator many, many times, and I tried it, and it just didn't work for me. I needed my students. And so I went out of my office into the classroom, and there I was happy, and I'm very happy. I want to thank my MECHA students from Cypress College for being here and for being so supportive and being there for me all the time. The only thing that I lacked when I was here was a course in Chicano Studies. I think it would have made a big difference in my life if I would have known, and I wouldn't have had to challenge all the American history professors every time they started talking about who discovered America and how the West was won. Because I knew my history. I knew Mexican history. My parents taught me that when I was growing up. And so we were always challenging each other. I had a great, wonderful history and political science professor by the name of Helen Holtrust, and I can still see her sitting in her office, and she would say, "Oh my God, not again." And then we'd discuss things, and then I'd say, "I need another book because this one does not give me the complete story." I love history, and this summer I was very lucky. I was able to afford a trip to Ireland, and now I'm knee-deep learning about the Irish, Mexican, and Spanish relationships. And I received the catalog from Golden West College yesterday, and as I was going through the schedule, I kept thinking, I wish I could take this course, I wish I could take this course, and I couldn't find the Chicano history class in the catalog. And I kept thinking, I've always wanted to go back to Golden West College. I never realized I would eventually come back and be bronzed and pillared. So I am here, and I will be here forever, I guess, until somebody decides, "Brian, don't you dare do any graffiti on my picture." And I will be watching, Lupe, from that pillar, knowing that I'm not the first or the last Chicana to graduate from Golden West and go on and do a lot of things. I challenge you, Lupe, to eventually have your picture right by mine, because education really is the only way to achieve anything in life. I am very convinced of that, and that's why I am very happy that I'm an educator, and I am a community college educator by choice. I wouldn't do anything else. Thank you very much.
I don't know about you, but I found that to be very inspiring. I found myself choked up several times, and while I was busy wiping away a couple of tears, I was noticing that I wasn't the only one during these 4 presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are all about in education, the success of our students. We are so honored and so thrilled for each one of those honorees today. We are so proud as an institution that we were able to be part of your success. I'd like to ask the 4 honorees and their presenters to gather around the pillar, please. Ronald E. Loewenberg, Sam Nguyen, Brenda Primo, Enriqueta Lopez Ramos, you are hereby inducted into the Golden West College Alumni Pillar of Achievement. Congratulations. We would like to invite each of you to come up to the front and congratulate the recipients. You can take a look at the inscriptions on the pillar. And then as soon as you have time, if you would please join us, we have a reception in the community center. You go right out, follow the black top, past the flagpole, go this direction.
go. Let's take a picture with it. Come here. Oops. Okay, do one more. Do one more.
Thank you.